Hello. It's been a
Hello.
minute. It's been a long time, but we're back. Imagination Fuel. Is everybody ready for National Month of Poetry next month in April?
Yea, verily.
We are, because Poe Unplugged is a YouTube channel all dedicated to Edgar Allan Poe.
We'll put a link down there.
Yes, we will. They're going to be doing a live reading with the different people that are involved with that, and we're going to be a part of that between 12:50 and 1:20. It takes place on Saturday, March 29th.
That's Central Time, isn't it?
Central Time, yes. And he's going to be reading the poem of Poe.
Yea, verily.
And I'm going to be reading the poem that I actually created. It was
Yes.
inspired by Poe. So.
But hey, before you think I'm lazy, okay, I'm actually submitting a poem to the Horror Writers Association Spotlight magazine, so that'll be an original one.
Yes, exactly. You see a lot more of that. That's why you haven't seen me online a lot. I've been busy behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
We're glad we're back. Glad we're back.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back.
Yes. So what's on the agenda for tonight?
Well, I think we're going to talk about some movies because we are getting hyped up for the box. And I saw the dressed cover today. Thank you, Pete Steiner.
Yeah.
It looks lovely. This book is going to be so beautiful.
Yes. Our books seem to be turning out to be love letters to some of our favorite genres.
Yes.
So this one, besides Elevator, this will be next.
Yes. This is actually a love letter to the Hammer horror films, EC Comics, like Tales from the Crypt, and eerie and creepy magazines, House of Mystery, and House of Secrets. You know, I love the horror comics. I actually own Twilight Zone comic number 1, in case you didn't know there's a Twilight Zone comic.
Well, you people are going to rob our house?
Yeah, right.
Just kidding.
I mean, it's not worth any money, sadly.
Yeah. Well, we are talking about Hammer films, but we're also talking about horror. I'm not a really big horror genre person. I mean, I think I've seen more horror movies than him than ever. So,
I'm a good influence.
so I saw a few as a child, which I probably should never have. But and a couple as an adult. But usually, I don't really see a lot of horror movies. I'm just not that. I like to be scared.
Well, the first horror movie I ever saw, I was 5 years old. I watched The Wolfman, the original film, with my dad. And my mom was like, Dwight, don't let him watch that. My dad's name is also Dwight. That's why I use my middle initial. Don't let him watch that. He's going to have nightmares. No, Mom. I won't have any nightmares. I had nightmares, okay, for a long time after that. But it gave me a fascination of horror movies. And, you know, the Edgar Allan Poe, the Corman Poe cycle, you know, all those movies, especially Mask of the Red Death, which was written by Charles Beaumont. Once again, back to the Twilight Zone, right?
6 Degrees of Twilight Zone.
Yeah, there you go.
The first movie I saw, I was a little older, but it was just as scary, was The House That Dripped Blood. It was actually part of a series of different movies that they had, which I don't know why we were doing, watching those movies as kids. But anyway, we were in the drive-in. Thanks, Mom. But it was like a triple decker. We had The House That Dripped Blood. We had Picture Mommy Dead. I know.
If you knew her mom, you would just be like,
I know. The Shuttered Room was another movie that really just scared the poop out of me. But Hammer movies, I mean, I didn't see a lot of them. I really didn't. That was the one that I remember, The House That Dripped Blood. Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing together were just so scary to me as a child.
Christopher Lee is the Dracula of my nightmares. I mean, I couldn't see with my neck exposed until I was 21, thanks to Christopher Lee. You know, so he's gone now, maybe.
Right.
Is he?
Christopher Lee?
Has anybody
yeah.
looked in his grave?
Oh.
But anyways, I decided to watch a Hammer film today. I watched The Horror of Dracula from 1958. Wow! It's a lot different, actually.
Oh, yeah, as an adult.
I don't know why they made some of the changes because, you know, the book is darn near perfect. I know everybody has to put their own spin on it. But one thing that was really cracked me up is Jonathan Harker is an undercover librarian in this film. Yeah, I was like, he comes to Castle Dracula to be Dracula's personal librarian, but he's actually working in cahoots with Van Helsing, you know, Cushing.
Okay, gotcha.
I was like,
it's like a dream team, those two.
But
Yeah.
man, I can see why as a child I was like,
Right.
Some of the other films are a lot better, I think, but this is like the movie that made Hammer a name.
The
really.
House on Haunted Hill, that was the other one that
Yes.
was a part of that whole little series that we watched, that particular
Yes,
time.
which is hilarious to watch now, isn't it? With
I
that with the
know.
skeleton on the I'm gonna get you. It's pretty
my
funny.
Lord, yeah. Well,
Well,
now, you want to talk about you? He's going to talk more about Hammer films. For me, like I said, I didn't really watch a lot of horror. There's specific movies that I watched that
She
were
didn't watch a lot.
horror.
She just
I
named
know. I
like
named about five of
five.
them because there was a big gap. Because the next group of pictures I would say that were instrumental in me watching a horror movie. Two movies came out in the same year. It's 1978. It was Halloween before it became a horrible franchise. That was very scary, and also the Amityville Horror.
Horrible franchise.
I don't think
Come
please.
on.
No.
A Halloween 3 is the most
No.
unintentionally hilarious movie ever made.
They should have just left it at one.
Season of the Witch. Go watch it now.
No.
Silver Shamrock.
Oh my gosh, no. So those were two films that were like. Then I took a big break, and then I met him. And he actually introduced me more to, I wouldn't say horror, but more ghost stories type stuff, I would say, because in fact, I had never read any Louis L'Amour books, but he recommended a book from him called The Haunted Mesa,
Yes.
which wasn't a Western, it was a Haunted Mesa, and it dealt with portals and stuff, and I love that kind of
It's more
Indian
sci-fi,
lore.
paranormal, which
Right.
I was shocked because I just
Yeah.
took the book, I read the back of the book, and I was like, doesn't this guy just like write
Do Westerns.
cowboy stories?
So that's the only
Really
Louis L'Amour
good.
book that we actually own is The Haunted Mesa. So mostly
Yes.
ghost stories is what I've kind of been introduced to more with him. But I think the other one I would have to say that really
Red Rob.
it's scary. No, that's a psychological to me. That's not
Yeah.
horror scary.
It's considered
A
horror.
ghost, but it's considered. I guess it is. I guess if
Psychological
you go through
horror.
that, you would be horrified. That's true if I actually went through what he went through. But the one that really always sticks with me to this day, that I still kind of was jarred by, but it was done so well, was Devil's Backbone
Oh
by
yeah.
Guillermo del Toro. That
Yeah.
movie to me, really, the way he used ghosts in that movie, and I don't want to even talk about it because you should just go see it.
It must be a brilliant person that recommended that film.
It's such a great movie.
It
I
is.
mean, it's so different from a lot of his other ones, but it's an ultimate scary. It takes place during a really hard time in life as well, but it's just that's a good ghost story. If you want to get scared, that scared me.
Hey, wait, didn't you see Pan's Labyrinth? Also?
Well, that to me wasn't a horror. I thought that was more fantasy. To me, it was fantastical.
Yeah.
I just because it's so otherworldly, and I mean, who is she? Is she the devil's daughter? I mean, who is this little girl?
It's fantasy with horror elements.
mean-
I think it could be classified as a horror movie.
It probably
though.
could be. I just thought it was more fantasy. To me, I was kind of taking it in a different direction than that. I didn't go
Yeah.
home scared of Pan's Labyrinth, the way I would be scared like with another movie, like Aliens or something, something like
Pan's Labyrinth made me sad.
that. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
like-
it did. To me, I was more sad
Oh,
at that.
Speaking of sad,
Yeah.
The Mist.
That's a horror movie, yeah.
The ending of that movie, that's the first time in a long time. I mean, I felt like I had been punched in the lower abdominal region, like by Mike Tyson.
Oh dear.
Yeah. If
So-
you haven't seen The Mist, man, I
Yeah.
warn you, the ending, boy, it will. I don't even know how to jar your senses. I guess we should say.
Right, and more recent movies would be like speaking of Stephen King, would be that movie, the new movies that they made,
Yeah.
which really show what that creature would really be like. Those
And not a
scary-
big spider.
and not a big spider. Yeah, those were done very well because that's more believable to me what the story should be. Sorry, Stephen.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah,
A big spider.
definitely.
Yeah, there you go. But back to
And-
Hammer. You can do more Hammer stuff. Sorry.
And Skarsgård did an awesome job
my
as
gosh,
Pennywise.
Yes. He was
Yeah.
really, really scary. And
Yeah,
again,
but
psychological. Because
The TV miniseries. I mean,
Well, for its time, I mean, that was good, but it was such an anticlimactic end a big
It
spider.
was an anticlimactic.
I was like, really, a big spider? All
yeah.
that for a big spider? Well, the spider is very different in the new movies.
But Pennywise, I'm speaking about Pennywise the clown himself
the clown,
in the miniseries.
In the old one?
Yes.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Tim Curry. Tim Curry was.
Tim Curry.
Yeah, he
wow.
did a good job. That's true. He did. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
We just think it wasn't scary. Well, he was scary, but he wasn't
We
scary enough.
float down here.
Yeah, those new ones though.
That
oh
scared
my
me.
gosh, yeah, those ones were.
I was a teen and it scared me, but I'm a chicken.
Oh,
you
that's
know,
right.
there you go. Yeah.
And
Another truth.
my last one is Silent Hill. Yeah, that one, which I would never have watched in a million years. But you know who had to say, "Oh, you just seen this movie?" Why I don't know.
And she had nightmares for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so that one, yeah.
Hey, I was just gonna say that Hammer made 7 Frankenstein films. They made 9 Dracula films.
Sheesh.
They made 1 Wolfman movie, and that was the Curse of the Werewolf, and 4 Mummy movies. So if you didn't know that about Hammer, go check those out.
And there's a new one coming out, which is
Yes.
going to scare the poop out of me, I'm sure. I don't know when it's going to be released, but it takes from the myth of the Abominable Snowman.
Yeti.
The Yeti, it's called.
I can't remember the name of
Yeah,
it. It's like
Ithaca. It's an Indian
Ithaquai?
name. Ithaquai, yeah. Just the movie poster is like, oh my gosh.
I think it's actually after the 1950s Hammer film, The Yeti of what is it? The Yeti of Nepal or something like that. Yeah, I think it's actually reintroducing the Yeti
Yeah.
because I know people are like fascinated with Bigfoot, right?
Or skinwalkers in general.
Yeah.
You know, those kind of deals that shape shift. You
Right.
know, what's scary is something that could turn into snow and then become a creature. That would scare
Well,
me.
I don't think he's made of snow. That would be
No,
the
I just meant-
snowman. You know, like Frosty the Snow.
No.
Which Frosty the Snowman's kind of disturbing too. Don't you think?
No.
That carrot nose. That's just weird. Yeah.
Oh Lordy.
So
Which
yeah.
all leads back to the box.
Yeah. It somehow.
Somehow, I know.
But I think we're
awesome.
gonna watch Hands of the Ripper tonight, which is on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
If you're a
yes.
Prime member, you can watch
Right.
Hands of the Ripper. And
Oh,
we
that's
love,
right.
you know,
Yes,
Jack
yes,
the Ripper
yes.
stuff as well. Well, not love, but you know what I mean.
Right. Well, it's a fascinating time in Victorian history, which
Yeah.
people they're fascinated with that whole idea.
That's one
of
thing
that.
Hammer definitely gets right is the sets and the wardrobe are gorgeous.
Which the last voyage of the Demeter, really, I think.
And it's not a Hammer film, but it
Yeah,
could be because
it could
it's got
be.
the same kinds of sensibilities. And I actually, speaking of ghosts, you know, from a way back, The Woman in Black, we actually watched, and that's a newer Hammer film. And
Oh, that's right. That was a
Yeah,
real
it was-
ghost
it-
story.
yeah,
in
it was
the,
a
in the
good- it was a
traditional
good
ghost story
adaptation.
sense. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it was
it
a
was.
good
And I
adaptation.
hadn't seen it because I don't like jump scares. But he watched it and then he recommended it because it doesn't have that many jump scares. I don't like
Yeah.
slashers, jump
No.
scares, or paranormal activity. You're never gonna get me in a theater to see that kind of crap. Not gonna do it. Nope.
yeah,
But that was a good movie though. It was a really
Yeah.
it was done very well.
Harry Potter did a great job.
He's always gonna be Harry Potter. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I saw him in Weird Al, that Weird Al thing.
Harry
Wow.
Potter.
He
Yeah.
did a good job. He's I mean, all the British actors are classically trained, so they're all good. You know, they come up doing, alas, I knew thee well, So they come up doing that stuff. That's why they're so good.
So all this stuff that was all in our heads, we've poured out into stories that we've been publishing, and
Yeah.
the box is one that is his love letter
Yes.
to Hammer films and stories that he's loved as well.
And I love the Universal monsters as well. I mean, don't get me
Right.
wrong,
Yeah.
but I was really hitting my teenage years when I started watching the Hammer films. And thanks to Dr. Paul Bearer, who there's a Dr. Paul Bearer the second now. The first Dr. Paul Bearer passed away. Or did he? But he was great. He was in Tampa, Florida, and he had a show called Creature Feature, and that's where I saw the Hammer films, was during that time. And I mean, those things, have you ever seen the Satanic Rites of Dracula?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a teen, you're like, 15, 14, 15, you're like, you know, but you can't look away.
Right. Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, but this book is, you'll see definitely some universal, influence, because Hammer never made a Gilman movie. So, you just have Creature from the Black Lagoon, which was Universal, which, don't watch any of the other ones. Watch the first one. It's probably the best
It really is.
Universal monster movie that they made. And, we're partial. We've actually been to Silver Springs, and this is where the creature first emerges from,
It's really a neat little place to go to see that footage.
Glass bottom boat.
Glass bottom
boat.
boats.
Awesome.
It's classic Florida.
There was a bunch of manatees, and we were following them. And they were bumping the boat and stuff. It was really cool. Okay, but that's totally off the... you can tell, it's that ADHD thing.
But we're really looking forward to having the box be out in the wild, It's... David Yukovich is doing such an amazing job with the art. I wish we could show you a lot more of it, but it just reveals too much more of the
it's going to be...
book.
I don't recall the last time I saw a book this gorgeous. I mean, he actually read the script.
Very detailed.
Yes.
And not just, the art that we have directed him to do, because we can just let him run wild with stuff, and he knows exactly where we're coming from.
Yeah.
It's just every detail that he puts within the image has to do with the characters. So you have to look really closely at everything, because you're going to miss something if you
It's beautiful. I mean, I really haven't seen a book that beautiful in quite some time. It reminds me very much of the European style of books. We have several friends that that make books in Europe, and they are so detail oriented. Really, it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful book.
And Dave was the artist who did the cover for Volume 2 of The Imaginary Voice of Edgar Allan Poe. So he's the one with that.
Yes.
He captured that perfectly again.
Yes, he did.
Really important cover for that part of the book.
It really was, because it's that book is about family.
It's about family.
It's one of the themes. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, since it is Imagination Fuel, I do have one more recommendation. It's on AMC, a show called Dark Winds.
Yes.
The producers are Robert Redford and...
what's his name? Mr. Game of Thrones.
I thought you'd know.
What's his name? I can't remember. Game of Thrones.
Oh, Lord.
You're going to make me Google him, aren't you?
We'll put it in the
Wait, isn't it like George R.R. something?
Martins.
Or...
Yeah.
Huh?
R.R. Martins. We'll put all the information in the stuff here for you. But that's a really cool show, because, again, I love Indian folklore.
Yes.
So for me, anything like that I'm there.
Yeah. I haven't seen Game of Thrones. So yeah. It's really good. Their little cameo is kind of weird.
That one didn't make sense, but it was funny. It was good to see that.
And weren't you saying the premiere was like huge?
Yes, the premiere was huge, which goes back to good storytelling.
Yes.
If you wonder why your shows are bombing, you need to be asking what kind of stories you're writing. You got to write good stories. People will be engaged in it, and
don't worry. The boxes you should be checking are all story and character related.
Yes. Yes. That should be it. Keep the story engaging.
Yes. Tell good stories.
You won't lose your audience. You'll never lose your audience.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, do you have anything else to add? Is there anything coming up? Our comics are available on Global Comics. You can check out Global Comics with an X.com.
And we'll put that again, all the information.
Yeah, we'll put it in the links. And of course, our shop is still open at hpcomics.net.
Yep.
We still have signed books. There's a new website coming soon. Hopefully. No, it is coming. It is coming.
Yeah, we're taking our time.
But it is.
Get it right.
It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a wonderful site. We're really excited, and we thank Pete Steiner and Comic Press for making it happen. But let me see what else we got. We got anything else?
That's all I got for tonight.
That's all we got. All right.
We're gonna watch a Hammer movie.
We're gonna go watch. What is it? The Hands of the Ripper.
The Hands of
the Ripper. Dun dun dun. Yes. So have a great whatever, evening, night, afternoon, whenever you're watching
This
this.
time change, that's just really, I can't deal.
Yes. And we'll be doing these sporadically. I'm going to try to do a live stream at least every Friday. Oh, gosh. Don't get me started on live
it'll be much
streaming.
better. Yeah, we got it all little kinks worked out. So
I
thank
think
you
so.
for your patience with that
Yes.
as we work through that.
And if you actually suffered through that first one, please
Thank you.
send me an email through the site, and I'll send you something. I'll send you something. You watch that whole thing? Yeah. And Pip is ready to play.
Pip's ready to go.
He's ready to watch the Hammer film. He's like, come on, Hands of the River,
Wrap it
man.
up. Yeah.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.